All
Is
right,
it just
so
me, or does anyone else almost click leave meeting? It's only sometimes, but it
when do
happens.
you mean?
Well, it's the first option.
I remember I did that
so-
when I was like closing out the recording. I exited the meeting for everybody.
I know. Like, yeah, because it's the first option. Maybe it's like the first thing your brain goes to. It's like, okay.
So everybody, this stuff is just, I made some like fill in the blank forms. I'm not going to do those today. I'm actually going to send these out through an email to everybody. And this is like what I was talking about last week. It's just the stuff we've gone over, like the film documents, different documents, what they're for, what document is it, and some of them will have the name on it, which is good. Then you can know what it is, and then you can write down what it's for.
Well, have you sent that already?
Homework.
What?
Have you sent that already?
I haven't sent it already. No.
So what we were thinking is like we send it one week, and then we go through it. Like
I'm going to send it today after the meeting, and then Thursday, and during Thursday's meeting, that way everybody has enough time to like kind of go through it. We'll go through it, and we'll just kind of read out or help each other with the answers, or read out what we believe the answers to be.
If you guys, if it would help, I recommend, if you guys want to learn this stuff and you don't know any of it, or if you want to just keep it for you, maybe print it out, a copy, and when we go through it on Thursday, just like fill in the ones that you don't know or the ones that you might have gotten wrong. I feel like that might be good.
I would say if you're actually trying to learn that, like keep this stuff in your head, write it out, because being wrong is also a good learning tool, so that you don't try to be wrong next time. At least for me, and I know a lot of other people that have that, where if they're wrong about something, like, dang it, I'm never gonna be wrong about that again, because I thought I was right. So I think you guys should just write it out, see what you think it is, like just look at it and make an assumption based on that. And then if it's wrong, it's wrong. And then you kind of know what you need to study in the future if you're trying to maintain all this stuff.
Oh yeah, but I just
and remember
like,
that
have
like
a
all
copy.
these documents aren't going to be used by each crew member, but if you're trying to do your own thing, it's good to know all these things so that you can one, either hand out all this stuff to people who don't know, or you can make sure that the people who say they know what they're doing are following what should be done to make the shoot go professionally. So
yeah,
if you have a sound guy
I
coming
just
in,
mean,
not using a sound report, you should kind of be like, well, do you even know how to use that? And then you can kind of see like how much he actually knows, or they actually know, and how much she's not aware of, or he's not aware of. And then you can go from there and see if you even want them on your crew, or if they're just full of it.
So honey, what I mean is, like, because this was helpful for me when I would do a test. I don't know if your teachers were like this as well, but every time most of my teachers, we would do a test, they would give us back our test, and they would go through every single question and give us the answer or explain the answer to us. And I would always correct my test, like either in the corner or in the back, and just write the number of the question and the correct answer. And that would help me see what I didn't know and what the right answer is,
That's what I'm saying, but you still want to answer. Like for me, I would say if you
I'm saying answer as well. I'm just saying
answer it
have a
first,
copy.
then you can like rewrite it as we go.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Because we'll go through these and we'll say like, well, this one didn't make sense to me. That doesn't look like, if it doesn't look like it to you, then we can discuss that or whatever. And then I don't think there's 3 additional camera movements after this, but I know of at least one that's not on this diagram. And so, we can talk about that, go through it, see if any of us are wrong or right, or if it's like, well, this arrow doesn't look like it's doing that movement, so I was wrong. And then like what kind of shots these are from what we've learned. And if you guys need any help, there's also like those documents I sent out of the shot list and all that will have under the help tab all of the different explanations of some of this stuff. So if you really want to go into it and look.
We also have.
You can also look it up online if you want. Like, it's not about getting everything right. It's more about you guys just knowing what all this stuff is. So if you feel like cheating, like whatever, go ahead. It's not going to be, good for your learning, but it's on you.
We also have, I should mention, the templates that we created this semester. I'm sure you can find better ones out there, like the Studio Binder ones and whatever. But if you guys would like, maybe the end of the semester, we can send them out, because we did send them to someone that asked for them. And yeah, just something cool for you guys to have, instead of having to like go and search for them. Or maybe you can even take those examples and look for a better version or something like that. So yeah, you just
Or you
let us
can
know.
change the examples. Like the ones I made were just for me, but I decided to send them to all you guys. So if you need to change anything, just change it. But yeah, so I'm gonna send these out to you guys after the meeting, and then next week we'll go into actually discussing all this stuff. So if you want to take a crack at it, go ahead.
It'll be fun, guys.
And then also the shooting schedule exercise and the scene mimic number 2 that's based off of the Hugo is due on Monday, August 9th. So not next week, the week after. So keep that in mind as well.
Don't forget.
We have that stuff. And then also this Monday, we're going to be watching a film for good acting. So we still haven't received any recommendations. So if you guys have any that are on Netflix or YouTube free or Amazon or HBO Max, let us know, and we'll look into it and decide on a movie or give out a. Oh, Marriage Story is a good one with good acting. That's a good one. Good idea. All right, I'm gonna write that one down. But yeah, if anyone else
The
has
Horowitz Chronicles or whatever it was, the same director. That one was, we haven't watched that one yet, but everyone says it's so good in its
oh yeah,
acting
what's that one called?
and writing. I think it was Horowitz something.
No,
Was it Horowitz? No, it was a Jewish name that I do not recall.
Horowitz Stories. I don't know.
I'll look it up and I'll see.
But yeah.
So, no, not The Room.
No, The Room.
It's known for its acting, though.
The Room would be a good one to watch for like what not to do. But I like watching like what to do, and then also we can kind of see.
Maybe we can watch The Room just for fun at some point, like end of the semester. Bad acting, everyone.
Yeah, I think we've all talked about it enough to the point where I think it warrants a watch.
Yeah.
Where is it even at? Like, on YouTube or what?
It's somewhere. I'm sure we can find it. But we can watch it and pause every 30 minutes and be like, okay, guys, what did they do wrong? Something like
well, we jumped out of nowhere and now we're in a new location. We don't know where.
Well, actually, or we could watch The Disaster Artist, which is about The Room. Yeah. What's his face? You know, he did he won an acting award for depicting Tommy Wiseau. Dang it, what's his name?
Franco or something.
Yeah, DeFranco. Yeah.
Oh.
Or James Franco.
Oh yeah.
Or it could be a two-parter. You know, watch the movie one day. Watch the making of the other day.
I feel like Raphael just really wants to watch The Room and needs an excuse for it, so he doesn't feel like.
I'm sure I'm not the only one.
But the best experience for watching The Room is in a theater full of people throwing like things at the screen.
It is an experience, yes. Watching The Room by yourself is a waste.
Oh,
you have no one to make fun of it with.
Not sure if I don't know. I don't like bad movies.
Oh yeah, we were watching.
It'd be interesting to see and like make fun of it and stuff. So yeah.
Even cringy moments in good acting. Like we just finished Firefly Lane. So wonderful, by the way. If you guys haven't watched it, such a good show. But there were such awkward moments that we were just like, oh, like feeling so awkward. And I was like, imagine if this was like poorly written. I feel like it would have been painful to watch.
Yeah, like good actors can make like mediocre written things, like they can sell it.
Right. Well, no, she's talking about like when the moment in the script is supposed to be awkward to make it funny or to make.
Because they were pretty good actors. Even Katherine Heigl did a decent job.
But yeah, I agree with that. With the other thing you said too. That's why like certain dialogue can seem not that bad, but then you have a different actor and it's like terrible dialogue.
And it's painful. It's just painful. It actually, you get secondhand embarrassment. You're like, oh God.
All right,
So you know
guys,
how
you
much
guys ready
work
to
it
start
takes.
the quiz?
I will say this. I will end it by saying this. I have learned so much. And I have a new appreciation for actors because I know how freaking hard it is now. Like I have a fraction of that knowledge of how hard it is. So I can look at a bad movie and be like, yeah, I can see you trying now. Instead of just outright being like, you're terrible. No, I know how much work goes into it. So, holy crap.
Yeah, acting is crazy.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, honestly, everything in film industry is. But
Yeah, you have a new appreciation for everything because you just see how much work and dedication and how complicated it really is. And you're like, holy crap. It's so easy to judge and to criticize, but at the end of the day, sometimes, you don't really know how much work actually goes into something.
all right, I'm gonna start. Honey, you gotta get first. So I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
All right. Welcome everyone to What Did You Learn This Semester, or did you learn anything this semester? I'm your host, Lakota Cloud, and let's begin. Priscilla, what is an NDA?
Oh, you gave me an easy one. Phew.
I just gave you the first one.
Yeah. NDA is a non-disclosure agreement.
Yep.
Should I elaborate or?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
And Mel, you're next. What is it used for?
So it is used for the crew and actors to just sign a waiver that they're not going to talk about the project while it's going on, or just for however long the people who are making the project need it to be not talked about.
Yep, not talked about, no pictures shared, stuff like that.
So I have a question about that, honey. Are we looking at it only from the side of where everything is just from the production perspective, right? We're not looking at it from the perspective of the writer.
The writer? What do you mean?
Yeah, like the writer of the script.
Well, that's the same reason would be that they don't want them to talk about their idea. So it'd still be the same concept.
So it's basically to protect the rights of the writer and or production company.
Yep, it's just to protect from like anything getting leaked out, any of the information, any secrets or any twist in the movie or the project itself, any behind the scenes or how they made it if they don't want it to be released, or any details happening on set that they don't want leaked to the press, like, bad PR and stuff like that. Or if they're like having a surprise character appearance, they don't want that stuff leaked out usually if they can help it. So NDAs protect against all that type of stuff. All right, Chisholm, you're next. You ready?
Not really, but you sure.
Okay, this one's kind of harder, so I'm sorry, but I am a shot of someone's lips. What kind of shot am I?
A shot of someone's lips?
Yeah, if the whole frame is just someone's lips, what kind of shot would that be?
I want to say it close up, but I know that's not right.
It is close, but no, it's not right.
Close, yeah.
Would you like to take another guess?
A super close up? Wait.
Oh,
Wait, you said super close up? Was that it?
that's not the name of it. It's an extreme close up, but yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, come on. Like, it's basically the answer.
Yeah, it is basically.
Yeah.
So it's an extreme close up. Extreme close ups are anything that's like, a very small detail on a person's face. It would be either their eyes, their nose, their mouth, their hair, their fingers twirling through their hair, something like that. And that's what an extreme close up would be.
Like last week, an example would be last week on the green screen exercise that Daniel and Sarah did, they had an extreme close up on Sarah's eyes.
Yep. Just looking around in the new room. All right.
It'd be an extreme close up if I like closed up on like a bug or something on the ground.
Yeah, that would be an extreme as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's also another word for that when it's like an object, right?
Oh yeah, there is one.
It's like a tiny thing. It's like
It's
macro.
an insert.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
that's what I
it's an
remember.
in-
do an
That's what they said on
extreme
the shot
close-up,
list.
but it is an insert into the edit.
Well, no,
It'd
I
be
mean
like either a
when
cutaway.
it's not on like when it's on like an object rather than a person's face, then they call it an insert.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it would still be an extreme close-up of that
Yes.
object, because you can have an insert of a building too, and it wouldn't be an extreme close-up.
Right.
So you're right. Or it would be a cutaway if it doesn't really have to do with the story. And if they're talking about this bug and you're cutting to it, that could be a
Oh,
insert.
it's still the name of the shot.
just
It's
cutting
like
away
the
to the
type
bug.
of shot.
Like on Star Wars, when this random creature eats something, that would be just a cutaway, pretty much, to transition to scenes.
Or the Ice Age ones with the little
squirrel.
squirrel thingy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Brazilian
Scratch.
made him. We have a lot of pride in that.
All right, Sarah, you ready for yours?
Sure.
All right. What is the job of a stand-in actor?
Stand-in actor stands in for the actor so that the camera can get have like a focus point. So they'll take so that the actor's not there for the actual like setup of the camera and settings. And usually the stand-in will have similar stats to the actor. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's basically, yeah. And so it's just like they
Ding,
mimic the
ding, ding, ding.
movements. Usually the actor playing the role will do a rehearsal, and then if it's a professional stand-in actor, they'll be watching that rehearsal and how they move, and then they just kind of like copy that movement or stand where they were, like Sarah said. And it's just for lighting and focus and other things to set up while the actor is in what's called last looks, getting their makeup and hair ready for the final shot. All right, Raphael, ready?
Yep.
All right, what is a talent release form for?
Oh fuck. Okay, I'm not sure, but I think it's what you give to actors so that like they're agreeing to be on set or something.
Yeah, sort of. It's like they're
Oh man, I'm
what?
getting ready to do the ant.
Nah.
I give it a partial like.
I'm kidding.
No, it is kind of right. Like, so it gives the production.
Wait. They're giving the rights to like show them on screen, right?
Yeah.
Did you just
Okay.
Google it?
No.
Okay.
Did you hear typing? Did you hear typing?
Yeah. So
no.
a talent release form is used to give the production the right to use the talent's likeness, which is their
It
voice,
just kinda
their
hit me.
look, their movements, etc. In the movie or for promotion, if they're trying to use their picture to say this actor's in it, they can use that, and it just gives them the right to do that. It also gives you, if you have people in the behind the scenes, any of the crew, if they're going to be in that behind the scenes footage, you want to get them to sign off on a talent release form because they might appear in that behind the scenes footage. V, you ready? It's all right.
Yep, can't do
right,
mic.
yep.
I'm reading it out so that people in the recording.
Gotcha. All right. What are the names of the lights used in a 3-point lighting setup? There's 3 names they give the lights when they have a 3-point light setup. I need to get some music in here.
Front
I'm
face
sorry, that is
and
not right. Would you like to take another guess?
and B lighting.
Boom, boom.
Honey, give it time for me to read the answer as well.
Boom.
3-point.
Yes, 3-point light setup. I said that. Would you like you want another guess? Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Oh, I thought I got it.
Yeah.
No. But I always forget at least one of them, which is really annoying.
Would anyone else like to take a guess?
The names of the 3-point lighting system?
Yep.
Isn't
Three
it
names.
backlight,
Yep.
front light,
Nope.
And shoot,
Meh.
Okay,
Yes.
so I think it's backlight, key light,
Yep.
and
Oh.
fill light.
Yep. Bing, bing, bing.
I got one of them.
Yep.
Yay.
Hey. All right, guys. Cool. All right, Priscilla's back to you.
I always forget at least one of those for some stupid reason. It's always like I remember the first two, and then it's like, gosh dang it, what's that other
Some
one?
people will call the backlight
Yep.
the rim light, but that's usually used more for if it's creating a rim around the person. Some backlights just go like sort of on the shoulders or the back of the head, so they don't call it that. But if you're using it to kind of frame the person, if the light's going to be like all around them, it'll be either a halo effect or what's called a rim light, which is kind of the same. It's still a backlight, but they call it specific things. But we'll learn more about that next semester. All right, Priscilla, you ready?
As I'll ever be.
What are some pieces of information you should include on your casting call?
Okay, give me a minute. Let me have some water.
She's looking it up, everyone.
I am not. Okay. I just filled up the water. Didn't you hear the fridge? Anyway, okay. Pieces of information that are important for your casting call. Your location, obviously. Time and date.
Well, the
of the
location where it will be
project.
shot, not your location.
Yeah,
You go ahead.
location of your project, I meant.
Yep.
All right. Time and day of said project.
Yep.
What you're looking for in your character, like a character description.
Yep.
Oh, if you're going to pay them or not, and if so, how much, like their rates, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
I would say any perks, like if there's going to be food, if there's going to be like stuff like that, a bath. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But not every
Yeah.
production does, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to remember. I think there's like one or two more things that are really important. I think some places said have an excerpt of your script, so they can like
Mhm.
read and see the material, at
Yep.
least like a piece to see if it
Yeah, they
interests
usually
them.
have it. If you're gonna get somebody to audition for it, you might send it out like that with the part that they're gonna audition. They're gonna read for that character. You might just send us what's called a side, which is just a little piece of the script that you want them to read the character for.
Yeah.
You might have like two characters interacting, and then you have.
And that way they can audition as well with something.
Mhm.
Am I forgetting anything?
Yeah. So you want to do an email, so they
Right,
know where to contact you.
information. Duh.
Also, you want to make sure you tell them whether it's a union or non-union project,
Mhm,
because then you're going to get union or non-union actors trying to audition for it.
mhm.
And if you don't know the dates, you should know at least like the month or the season that you plan to film if you don't have an exact date yet.
Remembering people that I helped him write these, and I don't remember.
And then also the last thing was the audition due date. Like when do you need me to turn in an audition, or when do you need me to turn in a monologue? That kind
Yes. Sorry, honey,
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
of You're fine.
But like I said, I helped him write this stupid stuff, and I'm like, getting nervous and not remembering.
All right, Mel, are you ready for your question? Oh wait, does anybody else have anything you feel like should be needed to add to
Oh yeah.
a call sheet? If you were an actor trying to get a job, what kind of information you need that we didn't?
What do you appreciate?
No,
Just said, did you
you're
skip me?
next. You're after Mel. On my
Okay.
screen anyway. It's Priscilla, me, Mel, you.
Because
Sarah,
last
Sarah.
time, oh wait, yeah, you're right. It was me, then Mel, then Jason.
Mhm. All right, Mel, you ready for your question then?
Yeah.
What is a call sheet used for? You're getting all the document questions.
Go find
And
Mel.
so the call sheet is for when certain actors are going to be needed on set, right?
Yes, partially, yes.
Okay.
I know you get nervous, right?
And wait, let me think about this call sheet. Oh, right. Yeah, that's wait.
Are you looking it up?
No,
Yeah.
I'm looking in my brain
Oh, okay.
for memories. Yeah, like I
No,
want
like
to
for
say
real, you get nervous and you end up forgetting everything, even if you do know it. It's really
I
annoying.
like teasing that. Come on.
no, but it's like it's for sometimes like the words, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hate when that happens whenever, especially if it's like somebody's name and I'm like, oh, I know them. I know their name, but I can't think of it. Hey.
Man, I
Like
have
it's
it every
for
time. Every time. I
Yeah.
swear. Okay,
but
I'm doing
like
new
I
questions.
am like in the right direction, right? Like it's about
Oh yeah. No,
like
definitely. Like, that is
yeah.
what it's used for.
okay,
but
okay.
There's more to it.
Right. 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 And it's gonna say like when the actors are like it has like a list of the actors and their times when they're on call.
Yes.
And when they're like when they can start working for the week and when they're done working for the week.
It won't be for the week.
And okay.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I
right.
think you're getting it mixed up
I
with
just remember
another
like the
document.
I remember that wait, am I mixing up the documents where it like says like SW start work?
Yeah, that's
Well, this
a
one. Okay,
another.
wait. This one does have that, but it is not the main part of the document. That you're thinking of a day out of days.
Honey, I wasn't gonna say the name of the document because
Oh, don't
there's a
worry.
question about it.
All right. Would you like to keep guessing, or you want?
Wait, so yes, you said it's like that.
That's a
Wait,
piece of it. Yeah.
it's a piece of it. Yes, okay. Yeah.
Does anyone know how to
When they
create
can
music?
be
Dun, dun, dun,
We should create some
dun,
music.
dun, dun. No, I'm kidding. Let her breathe. Come on, we're making her nervous.
nah,
Give
it's
her a
just like
minute.
it's
Outside.
I don't think I'll be able to access it.
All right. So a call sheet is used for both cast and crew, and it is for them to know what time for the crew, what time they need to come, and then you write for actors what time they need to be there and what time they'll be on set, like what the time they'll need to be on set. Some actors will need to be like an hour later or something, so they'll have all those times, and then they also this thing will also show like what the weather is, the location of the shoot,
Parking information, emergency, hospitals nearby.
and the numbers of like the producer and whoever needs their number displayed on there, as well as who all needs to be on set.
Yeah. So it's like a basic um sh- sheet.
And it's daily. So each day you'll get a new one for the next day's stuff. And on the call sheet itself, it has like a little glimpse of what's going to be shot the following day. So you'll be like, a little piece of it will be like, this is what we're shooting tomorrow, and which can change depending on if we get everything done today, that kind of stuff.
So it's kind of like a daily itinerary, and
Oh, right. It's also what's
basic,
shot today. So it's like, which scenes are we doing? What shots are we doing today? That kind of stuff.
yeah.
So think about it like this. The way I think about a call sheet is like it's kind of a culmination of all the other documents, just taking snippets of all of those and putting them into one document for each day of the shoot. All right. Jisom, you ready?
Yeah.
I was gonna
All
say
right. I
she
don't
ran
know if
away.
you'll know this one, but we'll see. What is it called when you physically move the camera on a track closer to the subject? Camera's on a track and you move it closer to the subject. What kind of camera movement is that?
You like when you say track, you say like a train track or something?
It's like it looks sort of like a train track, and you put like these wheels on it, and the camera goes on top of that, and the guy holding the camera,
Oh, wait. I think I know what you're talking
but you're moving it towards the subject.
about. Can I get a hint?
Mal said choo choo.
What can I give her for a hint?
Oh, Raphael said choo choo. Sorry.
Don't
Gosh, I'm thinking of a hint
Okay, I'll
too.
tell you this. It's not zoom in. That's when you don't move the camera and you just use the camera to look closer towards the subject. It's the
A
other
tracking shot?
close. You can use okay, so it's a dolly in. It would be dolly. You use a dolly, and you
Oh,
can use it to track somebody. But when you're just using it to close in on the subject, it's called dolly in.
So you dolly in when you're moving forward, and you track when you're moving sideways.
To the subject. So if the subject's
Yeah.
running sideways in a battlefield, you're following them. That'd be trucking, and then tracking would just be if you're staying with them the whole way.
okay, I got it.
I still get tracking and trucking mixed up. That's what's annoying for me.
Yeah, tracking is just tracking. Like tracking
Wait,
is
so
just following the
Tracking
subject.
doesn't have to do with the direction.
No, you can follow them backward. You can run backwards while they're coming towards camera. You can follow them as they go away from camera. That's
Oh, man.
tracking. Trucking would be if you're following them from the side. So it is kind of the same thing, but it's just so that you can
It's just a stupid
words are there so that
technicality
you
to
can
make it
explain
more
it. You can explain it
complicated.
quickly and be like, "Hey, we need a truck shot," and then they're like, "Okay," and they go to the side of the, sit
Yeah.
back and explain what you mean. All right,
Tracking
Yeah,
sounds like it could
tracking-
be anything, but then like
you could. I think it's like reverse track or something, and then that's when they're running towards camera or something like
Oh.
that. I don't know
Yeah,
the exact terms of that, but I do know there's certain terms you can use for it.
So can't trucking technically be done on a dolly?
Yeah, it usually is, or it's usually either that or like a steady cam because you need it really smooth most of the
But
time.
dollying in and out of a shot, that's a different shot.
trucking is
opposed
just
to-
sideways, right?
Yeah. So you're
You
still
can use
using a dolly.
You can use a dolly for a bunch of different shots depending on how you set up the track. So think of it like a train. If you set it up to go around in a circle, it's going to circle around the subject, and you can move your camera however you want, or you can set it up in an S figure. You can set it up sideways. You can set it up going front back. The only thing you can't do is set it up in like a cross because you can't make a huge hard break like that because it has to turn around on a track. But yeah. Sarah, you ready? You're muted.
Oh, yep.
All right. So what is a table read for?
Oh, a table read is to get a general sense of the characters and how the actors are going to so you get to have all the actors sit together, they get to see each other's faces, and you get like a general kind of sense of what the script is, how the actors kind of their first read, their first impression of the script, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just to get like a read through of the script, hear it out loud for everyone to hear, and like you said, for the actors to get a sense of their character. It's also a time for feedback and experimentation and asking questions, so the actors can be like, well, why does my character do that? That way they don't have to ask it on set. They ask it in pre-production during rehearsal. During the table read. And that way you can kind of work out all the kinks with the director and the actors and figure it out from there what approach you're going to take.
Raphael said the acting question for the actor. We did not plan it that way.
No, we didn't. It's just in order of how we're doing it. All right, Raphael, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. This one should be easy, but we'll see.
Oh boy.
Oh, calm down.
This document is a comic book outline of the movie.
Oh,
What is it?
is it
was
is it
so loud.
storyboard?
What?
Is
Yes,
it storyboard?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was wearing earbuds, and next thing you know, it's like, boom! Like, what the heck?
V, are you ready?
I'm happy with your enthusiasm from knowing something, Raphael.
All right, V, here's your question. What is the aperture on a camera? Technical question. Come on.
Come on, V.
I know they range in difficulty. It's too hard. You guys write the questions.
It seems like V always gets the hardest ones.
Right? Seems like V and just have been getting the hardest ones this time.
She said, to focus on the subject.
Yeah, that is part of it. That is, you use the aperture. The focus ring is on the aperture usually. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. That's on the lens. My bad.
I was gonna say, what?
Let me
Sad
correct
face.
myself before let me correct myself before I say something wrong.
I was gonna say, now you're giving her wrong information. What the heck?
Yeah. It does have something to do with focus, but it is more about the depth.
What was the
of
question again?
Aperture.
What is the aperture on a camera?
V, have you ever played the game Portal?
Oh, I love that game.
The company is Aperture Science, and their logo is a little hint.
Ah.
Oh, when the lens opens and closes, she said.
Yeah, sort of. It's not the lens itself, but it is the sensor. It's where you use the aperture to allow light in. It controls how much light is allowed to come in. So with a wide open aperture, you're going to have it be the brightest. And also it affects depth of field, because when you have the aperture wide open, the depth of field becomes shallower. So it's harder to stay focused on more stuff. The background's going to be more blurred out. Or if you're focusing on something farther away, the foreground's going to be blurred out.
On our Reddit, we have like a bunch of images explaining these things. I might take a few of them and send them in the WhatsApp today, just like for a visual representation.
If you close down the aperture as far as it can go, it's going to be a tiny hole that makes the whole image darker, but it makes the depth of field a lot longer and deeper, so that you have the background and the foreground in focus if you want to have everything in focus. So those are two different things with the aperture. But yeah, good job. All right. Priscilla, you ready?
Yeah, Chisum said, I'll be right back. So she's running away from the question. No, I'm kidding. She just said she'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll just
You
answer
ready?
our questions really slow.
Right.
Yeah.
You ready, Priscilla?
Yes, sure. I'm scared. I'm making fun
You
of
get all the
everybody else.
multiple choice things, or like the multiple
I
answers.
know, I'm so
Here we go.
lucky.
What pros and cons come with hiring a union or a non-union actor?
Oh, thank you, Lord. Okay. So pros would be, you more often than not get someone who has more experience, obviously, because
When it's a union.
when it's a union, because that person had to work hard to get those points to be able to qualify to join that union.
Mhm.
So they have more experience. It's not always, but you have more of a chance than not of getting someone that is a little more professional and used to dealing with sets and that kind of environment. So they might be a little more used to it. And that might make the transition easier, make them, I don't want to say better, but just, more experienced.
Mm-hmm.
There's one more. You also get more notoriety for your project because you have a union actor, which means more publicity, and you get more credibility because you're working with someone union.
Yep.
Credibility, quote unquote.
And what are some cons of having a union?
Cons are that it's incredibly expensive. Not always, but it can be expensive. Especially because it is very bureaucratic. You have to follow a lot of rules. There's a lot of regulation. There's a lot of little minute details that you have to, because if you're hiring a union actor, you have to basically create a union set or follow the rules of the union on that set.
Yep, a lot more paperwork.
Oh, I was gonna say a lot of paperwork that you're gonna have to go through and sign and read through. I don't think the set gets in trouble for hiring the union actor. I'm pretty sure. But you might have to like tiptoe around to make sure that actor doesn't get in trouble or isn't found out, you guys are in code and that you're not getting that actor in any trouble.
Yeah. So a union actor can get in trouble for joining a non-union project. So if you have non-union, it's also more likely that you won't have union actors. Sometimes union actors will say, I'll take the chance and do it, but you might have them be like, no, it's not worth it. And so they won't join your project unless it's union, which is what Priscilla
From
always
what I've
was
re-
saying.
From what I read, it seems like it's more of the union doesn't like it more because it undermines the union and it makes it kind of like, well, there's a reason there's a union. So if you're going around getting non-union, booking non-union gigs, it kind of undermines us a little bit. And more often than not, I don't see them getting kicked out unless it's like a serious offense. But yeah, it can get them into some trouble with the leaders of the union or with their fellow actors, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of actors, like mainstream actors, that do union films. I guess the thing that I saw the most is follow code when you're working with a union actor. And if they do find out, make sure they find out after you premiere. But they do say that in some cases, it can make it harder for the movie to have the mainstream audience, like to get more people on board because they're afraid of it being too big and the actor getting in trouble in some cases. So it's, from what I saw, it depends a lot. It's very subjective. It varies a lot.
Okay. Yep. That's all correct. There's probably more to it. That's all I could think of too. So anyone else
And we
have-
were trying to look at it from the perspective of of the production company, of the people, crew.
Yeah, the question was why, like the benefits of hiring
Yeah.
union actors. So you wouldn't look at it from actors don't hire themselves. Anyway.
Yes,
well,
but that's a discussion for another day.
Well, what do you mean actors don't hire themselves?
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, from the perspective of the actor, that's a whole other thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mel, are you ready?
Yep, here I am.
All right, so Raphael answered about the storyboard, but what is the storyboard for?
Okay, so the storyboard is just to kind of plot out what you want your film to look like, basically, like the composition of the shots that you want to do, and the sizes of the shots, as well as what camera movements you might like to do, and you're going to want to illustrate all of that.
Yep, it's just a visual representation of all the shots, and like angle movement, framing, blocking, kind of lenses, and the composition. All that stuff kind of gets decided while you go through the movie, picking out what shots you really want to make sure are done a certain way, just to give everybody a visual representation of the film. Especially if you're trying to get investors, it's a good way to show them what you're going for, kind of thing. All right,
Yeah, it can kind of show the style. The visual
Yeah,
style.
also shows the style, the lighting as well. You can show like that kind of stuff too. Basically, as detailed as you want to be. Just like a comic book representation of.
Yeah, I've been meaning to send the Knives Out storyboards. Are great.
Ooh, cool.
It's just it's very basic, but it's just really interesting to see just how like these like very like stick figure things end up being these complicated shots.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. You can send that in the WhatsApp if you can. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll send it through email to V as well.
All right, Chisholm, what is shutter speed in a camera?
I know this. I don't think I do.
You do or you don't?
Wait, I know it.
He's like, I know it. I don't think I do. I know it, but I don't.
It's how fast.
Huh?
How fast
Honey, let her think.
No, just like giving it hints like, yeah, you're right. You're on the right track.
how fast the camera. Am I on the right track?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
somewhat.
Uh-huh.
How fast the camera Uh, how, wait, that doesn't make any sense. How fast?
You're not
How,
doing it.
wait, it has something to do with light, right?
It does affect light, yes.
How fast the light goes through the camera?
Kind of, yes. So it is the length of time the sensor is exposed to the light. So it's kind of like blinking for a camera. With digital sensors, it doesn't exactly work that same way, but with old cameras, they'd have a thing that would close and then open back up, which was the shutter. So if you think of it like a window, when you open your shutters more, there's more light that comes in. When you close them down, not as much light comes in.
So yeah, when I was
So
thinking
it controls
shutter, I was thinking of
exposure,
light.
right? Like, sorry.
Yes, this and aperture and another thing, which we'll talk about in a second. One of the questions. All expose. They form what's called the exposure triangle, which is 3 different things that cause how much light is getting to the final image
Right.
and what it looks like. So shutter speed is how fast the thing is exposed to the light, which means if you have a higher speed, there's a darker image. It affects the brightness and also the motion blur. If you're taking pictures and you put up the motion blur really high and you take a picture of a waterfall, you're gonna see every single droplet of water. Whereas if you slow down your shutter speed, you're gonna see it more smooth, like a constant flowing thing. So usually for films, the shutter speed is set to double whatever the frame rate is. And the frame rate's how many frames are filmed in that second. Sarah?
Yes.
Maybe I should reorganize these questions. There's 6 of you, so we have like 3 different subjects, so now she's getting all the acting questions.
Yeah, it just seemed a little
Switch it up.
convenient.
Switch it up. All right.
Raphael,
Sarah,
you go.
Sarah, what's the difference in a shot list and a storyboard?
Shot list and a storyboard. Well, a storyboard is visual, where a shot list is written. So it'll have written out of the shots and kind of the angles and everything, where the storyboard is a visual representation of the same thing.
Yep. There we go.
I'm gonna grab my coffee.
All right, Raphael, you ready?
So
So now you have the acting one. All right. Why is it important for an actor to maintain continuity within a scene?
why is it important?
Why is it important for an actor to maintain continuity in a scene?
I mean, it's important to maintain continuity, like in the final product.
Yes? Specifically, why would an actor need to make the same movements during different takes?
I don't got it.
It's so the edit can flow together, so that when you're changing different angles, they're doing the same movement so that it flows
So
together.
for post?
Yes. You maintain continuity for post-production, like you said. I was just saying specifically, you do it so that whenever you're editing to a new angle, they're moving their hand in the same way, or they're sitting back the same way they were in the other take. That way, they're not constantly moving around in the scene, and it looks weird and obvious that it was shot at different times. Also, for an actor, it's important continuity, performance continuity, to maintain that performance, to keep that level of how angry they are or how laid back they are or whatever, so the scenes flow together. If you have 2 scenes and they're supposed to be back to back, but they're filmed a week apart, they need to make sure they can get back to that performance continuity so it doesn't feel out of place that all of a sudden they're more angry or they're more loud than they were, which was in the scene a few minutes ago, something like that. And also just for blocking so that everything is the same within the scene, they're stopping at the same spots, and the camera's picking up the same stuff.
Oh, that one I should have known.
All right. V, you ready? All right. Wait, hold on. What is ISO in a camera? Hey, you're muted, Priscilla.
Oh, never
Yes.
mind. You asked that question. I forgot. Did we ask anything about the 30-degree rule? I think
No.
we forgot to add that question. We might as well add it later in the end. Anyway, continue.
Oh,
I wanted to show
the
something
30-degree
after.
rule is really, really important.
Exactly.
V said, everybody.
I'm
We're
looking
watching the
for
recording anyway.
a specific. Oh, there it is. So after you're done with V's question, can I share my screen for a bit?
All right.
Yeah, because I'm gonna send this to the WhatsApp, but I'm also gonna email these to V. But I just wanted to give a visual representation of what you were talking about.
Of the
Of the 3-point lighting system and all that, but I wanted you to finish this question first.
gotcha. Bum bum bum. Something to do with speed. No, it has something to do with lighting. It's the third part of that exposure triangle. So the shutter speed was the thing that blinks. It takes in how much exposure to the camera the light gets. So how often is it looking for that light? The aperture is how big or small the hole is where the light comes through. He said, I don't know. Okay. ISO is kind of like the synthetic light. It's how sensitive the camera is to the light when it reaches it. So when you add more ISO, when you raise it up, the higher it goes, the more noise that starts to appear. These little blotches start to appear, especially in darker areas because they have less information.
So if you're shooting in a dark, let's say you're shooting in a dark place, you would heighten the ISO to get more light, but you're creating artificial light, which can make the image look a little more grainy and blown out.
It won't look as contrasted and it won't have as much dynamic range and it'll look a little uglier. Certain cameras have a big range. Certain cameras
That's
have
a very
lot of ISO
simplified
they can add to it.
explanation.
Yeah, isn't it more like it's heightening like the sensitivity to light?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Didn't I say that?
I explained a very
Well,
simple.
I think you might have,
Yeah.
but you just talked about like fake light, but it's more like
Oh no, I explained it like that just to like.
No, I was saying it's like the
blame-
synthetic light that comes from the camera once, because it's like the sensitivity of the light, but it makes it seem like people call it synthetic light because it just looks more artificial when the higher up it goes.
yeah, and you're more likely to get like a lot of visual noise
Yes.
with that.
Yeah. So, honey, can I share my screen for a sec?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just wanted to show something. I never know how to do this. Wait, there we go. Okay, is it working?
Yep.
Okay, so this was the image from the WhatsApp that we have. And it's showing like the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO.
On the bottom.
And then we have this one basically showing the same one. And yeah, so we have these 3 images. I'll send them in the WhatsApp.
So as you can see on this one, it shows like in the background of the house, when that thing's more open, the aperture's more wide, the house is more blurred out, it's less in focus. And then when it's more narrow, the aperture's closed down, everything's in focus. And if I forgot to mention, aperture is counted in f-stops. The bigger the f number, the smaller the amount of light because it's a fraction, it's cutting out light. So the smaller that number, the more light that comes in.
Yeah. And that one will, yeah. So these are just like little visual representations. So I'll send these through email and text and just, they're on the Reddit that we created, but they're like
Can you get
one of
back
the
to the
first
other one?
things. This one?
No, one over.
This one?
No, the other one. Yeah, wait, that one. No. Why are you going? No, why are you going two?
Which one?
One over.
The middle one.
The
Oh,
middle-
I was in the middle one and
No,
you
you
were like,
weren't.
yes, I was.
You're all black.
it's the time lag.
Oh,
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Hi.
All right. Well, do you see the shutter speed over here? Like when you start to have less, when the number's less, it's one. Whoa. One
That
half
help?
of what?
Oops. Nope. There we
When,
go.
when it's at 1/2 of a second, that person running really fast is going to be a huge blur. When it's 1/1000th of a second, you're going to see them completely because it's capturing each thousandth of a second in that moment. So if you have same thing happens when you have shooting video, except for with video, because it's shooting frame rates, if your shutter speed is too high, it's going to start looking very jagged and weird. And also the higher your shutter speed is when you're shooting video, lights and stuff like that will start to flicker because lights aren't actually continuously on. So basically you just want to make sure your shutter speed is like double or like around double whatever your frame rate will be, just to make sure the video looks good. And then the ISO, you can see it starts to get a lot more grainy. There's little noise, this little flecks start showing up all over the screen, and the higher it goes, the uglier it gets. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. You can stop me sharing now.
Oh, well,
Or do I have to do that? Oh, okay, I do that.
Yep.
There we go.
All right. Priscilla, it's your turn. What are an actor's marks for?
Oh, great. The question that I kept forgetting. So the actor's marks are for the actor to know where to stand in front of the camera. It's to help with blocking and framing, right?
Yes.
And I know there's that one last thing that I always forget. And it's for that one last thing that I always forget.
Focus.
Yes, focus. There you go.
Yep. So you mark an actor where you want them to move within frame, especially if it's a complicated scene where they're going to be in 3 different areas of the frame. You mark them and show them where they're going to stop at so that they know to stop here and then continue on their, acting out their thing here and walking over to this spot. And then they'll have like mark 1, mark 2. And they're just so that each actor knows where to go and where to stop. So they're in frame, they're in focus, and the blocking is correct.
Dang it, I accidentally sent V an empty message because I was going to send the pictures. Sorry, V.
All right, Mel, you ready?
Okay.
You get this one. All right.
Oh,
What
boy.
is the D? No, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. What is the DOD report and what's it for?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's the one that's especially when the weekly kind of or day either daily. No, it's weekly. It's a sheet for when the actors are available to work, and there's like a lot of little shorthand things. So like SW means when they start working.
Yeah.
I means idle.
Yep. And that means they're not working that day and they're not paid for it.
Right. And like whereas yeah, so idle is they're not working that day and they're not paid for it, but on hold means that they're not necessarily in that day, but they could be, and they are paid for it, or
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Um,
And what does
And-
DOOD stand for?
day out of days,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Try to
That's why I was like,
cheerlead
oh,
on
you got the
me.
question because we were talking about it specifically to you earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
used for the whole schedule, not just weekly. It's used for the whole schedule to show how many days that character is going to be needed to set. So if you're trying to get an actor, especially if it's a named actor, they're going to want to know how many days do you need them. And this report, you should have went through it. Your shooting schedule, it's after the shooting schedule. You go through and you find out how many days total is this actor going to be needed. And then you go looking for your budget. I mean, you figure out your budget based on this stuff. And then you also go looking for your actors, and you give them this information. You're going to be needed to set 10 days. You know, we're shooting for 3 weeks and you're going to be needed 3 days each week or whatever. So, yeah. Shisum, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. What's the most common frame rate that's used for film?
Can I get like 3 guesses?
Yeah.
Can I say like 50 frames per minute?
Nope.
That's
It's per
50?
second. It's per
Per
second.
Oh,
minute.
yeah, 50 frames per second.
No, nope.
Is that closer or far off?
It's pretty
Somewhere in the
far
middle?
off.
Do I go higher or slower?
Lower.
Oh, 20 frames per second?
Oh, closer.
I
A
said somewhere
little
in the
of-
middle
a
just
little
because there's
up.
the other one.
What?
I said somewhere in the middle just because, there's the other one.
Wait, 30 frames per second?
That's used more often for like video and online content or like corporate videos.
25 frames per second?
Oh, that's super close.
getting
That's
warmer, you're
used more
getting
often for like Europe. Europe has 25 frames per second for their films. And we have one
22?
below that.
Oh, 24.
Yeah, yeah. So we have 24 frames per second is the most commonly used.
It's actually 23.976.
976.
976. Yeah.
23.976. Some cameras will say 24. Some cameras will say, like mine says 23.98, but really it's 23.976. And that's just how many frames it's going to show in each second of film.
Okay.
And the reason it's used like that is because that's the reason it was chosen is because that's how our eyes see things in real world. It's like theorized that we see around 24 frames per second speed. So all the motion blur that comes with that will be shown in the film the same way we see things in real life, which is why we like it so much. And that's
Isn't
why
it-
when you have your shutter speed, you want it to be double the frame rate. So if your camera does it, do 1/48th of a second for shutter speed, or 1/50th if it doesn't do 1/48.
Sorry, what were
I
you
thought,
saying, Mel?
I thought 24 was more like of a cultural thing, because like, don't our eyes see closer to 30?
I've always heard that it's 20. We see more close to 24, but maybe.
No,
I mean,
starting-
I just know that.
Yeah,
What?
because we watched like multiple videos where they said 24, but you could be right, they could be wrong.
Well, I guess what I mean is like 30 actually like is more. I felt like 30 is like more like accurate, like it captures more, but it's just that the cultural association that we have for 30 frames per second film, like to really cheap video and soap operas and stuff like that, is so strong
Because the
that
movement.
we
I think I know
that we
what you mean.
prefer 24.
Because the movement ends up being
Yeah.
slower and less dynamic, and that could make sense.
Like I could be
can see
like
that
I could be
making
wrong on
sense.
like what our eyes can actually see, but like I know like 30 is like the limits, I think, of what our
me-
eyes
So I'm
can
looking it
see.
up on.
I'm
I don't
gonna-
know how
oh, I was gonna-
trustworthy it is, but it says most experts have a tough time agreeing on an exact number. But you're right, Mel. The conclusion is that most humans can see at a rate of around 30 to 60 frames per second.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I was about to
There
be
we
like,
go.
why in like video games do people always have like 60 FPS?
Oh,
Yeah,
because
I was gonna say.
when you're seeing it on a screen, we're seeing this still image. I mean, this thing is not moving, not in real life.
Yeah.
The movie's moving, so we could see up to like however many frames per second they put on there, because it's not actually moving for us. The only reason we see motion blur is because it's physically moving through space, and so we see like a blur. But if it's sitting on a screen and that camera can do it, we could see however many frames that camera does. So if it had 720 frames per second, we could see it on a screen, but I don't think we could see it in real life. We would see it, 30 to 60.
But
See,
yeah, I would
this
say
is
that the reason is more cultural than anything as to why we do 24 frames. It's just what we've become used to seeing as like, oh, that's a film look.
Yeah.
oh no, yeah, no, it's good that you spoke up because like we said, we learn more from articles and from people talking about it in videos, but people can be wrong, and a lot of the people talking about it, they're just repeating what they've heard. So misinformation can be, there can be
Like this.
yeah.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's
and
always good.
it's something that I just find so fascinating, because that is kind of what we go for with like film, is that we're not necessarily always looking for realism, similar to how
'Cause
dialogue is written.
No, but it
Yeah.
makes sense because realistically, it would be way slower and kind of more boring. Because I know I hate the soap opera effect so bad. Like any TV that has it drives me insane.
Well, the TVs
And
that have it is more because of the refresh rate.
yeah, but even
Yeah.
with even the videos that I like, the old TV shows or the old soap operas that I used to watch, because I watched a lot of them with my grandma and stuff. I remember that the movements were weird and they were kind of slow sometimes, or they were just awkward, and I kind of hated it. So with like soap opera effect and like those kinds of movements, even when I was watching British television for the longest time, I think it was like 30 FPS or something, I felt weird. So I think at the end of the day, like you said, it might be just a cultural thing, just because we're used to fast-paced storytelling, or maybe like more dynamic movements, not even faster per se, but just more dynamic.
Well, I think it's more because like what film like that like a 30 is digital and film was used to be shot on reels, and that's where I think the 24 came from.
So that they wouldn't have to take up as much physical reel.
Yeah, like 'cause I think 24 is kind of like the low limit of what is like visually acceptable. So it's kind of budget. Like yeah, like this is the fewest amount of frames that you can have to still like get like the necessary like proper look of motion.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Thank you for
yeah. I mean, I just know that it's
Thank you.
more because of. I just know that it's like more because of like how film was made, like the difference between digital and like a reel of film,
Yeah. Like because it was physical, they wanted to use as little amount of it as possible so they could save money on all of that. Just imagine like him using 60 frames per second.
Well, and similar to how like
Huge.
like another cultural thing is that like eating popcorn at the movies, like corn just happens to be super cheap to mass produce, so it ended up becoming like the most popular movie snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, this is exactly why it's really good to have these conversations and to hear different opinions, because at the end of the day, like even I'm pretty sure even a textbook we were reading said this, and there we go. Like we just looked it up and it's wrong, and it might not even be because it's wrong, but probably because like we learn new things all the time. Like medical information changes, the way we see how things work. Oh, we thought it was one way and now we learned it was another. So at the end of the day, it's good to have these discussions. It's good to be okay to like act, oh hey, so like I heard it different. So we really appreciate like you not being like scared or like embarrassed to speak out and let us know.
Yeah, thank you for hearing.
All right. Who was next? Oh, I think I asked Matt, right? I asked you.
It was no Chisholm. Chisholm got the frame rate question.
Okay. Sarah, you ready?
Yeah.
This form is used to secure a location for shooting. What form is it?
I have no idea.
It's called.
Not even gonna
Anyone
guess.
want to guess? A location release form.
Location release form. Perfect.
Yep. So anytime you're trying to get a location from somebody, whether you know them or not, always get this location release form, have them sign it saying what day you're going to shoot there, what you're going to shoot, how long you're going to be there, all that stuff, so that you have them signing off saying that you're allowed to do it, so they can't later come to you and say, you know what, I don't like your movie, and I don't want my house shown in your movie, so you can't show my house anymore, because they can do that if you don't have this location release form. But the release form lets you use it however you see fit according to the contract. Raphael, you ready?
Yep.
All right. What is the difference in a gimbal and a Steadicam?
One's bigger.
Yes. Which one?
The Steadicam.
Yes.
The gimbal is more budget. It's
More budget friendly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Well, wait. The difference, right? Okay, so I mean, I think the Steadicam would give you a lot more of a professional look from like having the stability, better stability or something.
I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like
usually,
it really
usually it
depends
does. Yes. It depends on the
on
operator.
the
Yeah.
operator. Yeah, I was gonna joke like say that.
Is there
Mel
anything
said,
specific?
"LOL, I did inspire this question." Actually, that was a question I had a lot, and your question made me remember that. So yes, you kind of did, because I
What were
was
you
like,
saying,
"Oh,
Raphael?
Is there
Yeah.
anything specific?
Just like, what's the main difference between these tools? Like, they're both used for stabilization, but where do they differ at?
Like as a form factor, I mean, the Steadicam, it's bigger and you have to wear like more equipment for it.
Yep.
Whereas like
It can be more tiring
yeah,
because it's so.
whereas the gimbal, it's more like mobile and like easily like very portable.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't really have more to add. I don't know.
Cool. All right. So gimbals are also usually digital, or like they're electronic. So you have to kind of set them up each time to say like what stable is on this surface, because it's going to be tilted at a different way. So there's different ways to set it up.
I
And
was
then
wondering about
Steadicam-
that.
but it's also cooler because you can like turn it upside down if you want. You can turn it sideways. You can."
And it'll maintain its whatever level you set it to. But it does take more, well, it can take more time to set up because you have to do it all and tell it what stable means.
And it's bound to be more shaky too,
like Raphael
more often
said,
than not.
it's cheaper and it's smaller. It's easier to use, especially for long periods. But and also a Steadicam requires, usually should require a Steadicam operator, somebody who knows how to use it, because it's such a huge thing and they have to like wear it, like he was saying, and it has to, but it's manual. It's not electronic, so it doesn't need power. It can just be moved.
But it also requires some training because it is heavy, and there is the whole thing with like finding the right vest, and like it does hurt after a while. So it is more like manual labor-esque in a way.
Yep. All right.
But yeah, I was gonna say, because Mel asked the difference between a dolly and a Steadicam last meeting, And that made me remember that I had the hardest time remembering the difference between a
No,
tele-
I actually
a
I actually asked
Steadicam.
the difference between a gimbal and a Steadicam last time.
Oh, okay. I remember.
Yeah, when we
I'm sorry, I
started, there was
remembered
the
wrong.
whole Amazon thing, and
Right. I remembered it like wrong. I'm sorry. But yeah, I had that question for the longest time because I kept mixing them up all the time. So I added it on there.
Yeah. All right. So V, you ready? All right.
Sure.
What camera angle could you use to make a character look more intimidating? What kind of camera angle could you use to make a character look more intimidating without them changing anything, just the camera angle?
She's typing. Low at the feet, trying to think of the name, maybe tilted up.
It's not tilted up.
High angle.
Opposite of that. You had it right. You said low. Low angle. Yep.
Low angle.
The low angle, it would be like it's below their eye line and it's looking up towards them. I'm actually going to share my screen real quick just to show you guys real quick. So it'd be something kind of like this. Down below them looking up so that they look more intimidating, powerful, big, in charge, stuff like that. And then also I just showed like this is what a gimbal is, motorized gimbals. So some aren't motorized, but I think
wow, that price range.
yeah, different. Like it probably depends a lot if
Yeah.
it's electronic or not. And then
Man,
so,
we were looking up the
Steadicams are like this.
Huge.
There's bodysuits. This guy, this giant
Like part
arm.
robot.
Yeah, it's a giant arm that sticks out from this vest thing that you put it in, and then you put this pole with these weights on it, with the camera on top, and that's why it can start getting heavy after a while. But the bodysuit is made in a way so that most of the weight's going to your core.
But
Like,
we also
get
heard
your
from a
turn.
lot of them that you also have to test out the vest. Like not every vest is gonna fit every person, so it's good to like test it out, see if it balances your body well and helps hold all that weight.
Yeah. All right. So now, who's next? Let's see. Oh, Chisom. I guess. Oh wait, how did you guys switch places? It's
Because you're
Priscilla.
switching it
Uh-oh.
up, remember?
Maybe you
Priscilla.
should write them on a list.
No,
You're
'cause-
switching it up.
no, like you
He's
guys.
been doing it how it's been arranged on the screen, and it did change.
Oh, it's because she saw me
Yeah, I
said she'd
saw
be
it
right
swap.
back. Remember?
Well, yeah. Oh, but she didn't leave the group. Anyway,
Yeah, I never
I
left.
think.
Oh,
I
don't know.
think you might have raised your hand. I think that's why.
Oh, that's probably
Raising hand goes top left. All right.
Maybe you
anyway.
should just write down the order. So you won't
Yeah.
forget.
Right.
Like assigned seats.
We're almost done. All right. Priscilla, what is a COI form? What does COI stand for?
I was about to swear. It's gonna be like shit. Okay. COI. Something agreement? Like I got the last part right?
I stands for agreement? Huh. I didn't
Oh,
know.
I thought you said A.
No, no,
Goodness,
it's
that's
COI.
I. Okay. Let me think. Gosh, the forms are so hard to remember. Okay. Can I have a hint?
Certificate for C.
Oh, okay. Certificate of.
Does it?
I did not write this one with you. Did you add this one later?
I don't know. Maybe. Does anyone else want to guess?
Certificate of insurance.
Yes, it's a certificate of insurance. So once you
Yes.
get production insurance, you print a lot of these forms so that you can show the locations and all these other people that you need to show that you
Remember,
have
I said we needed an insurance question.
yeah, and I wrote this. And that way you have proof that you have the production insurance or the gear insurance or whatever they need proof of, so that they can see like that you are covered. And so that's what this is, certificate of insurance. All right.
We watched a 45-minute
No.
podcast about insurance and I forgot this document. That's why I'm saying no shame, guys.
Mel, you ready?
Yes.
All right. What type of camera movement orbits around the subject?
I believe that would be an arc.
Yes. And if it orbits all
Yeah.
the way around, they might call it a 360-degree shot. But arc shot is used more often. All right. So now Priscilla reminded me of a few questions. Giselle, you ready?
Yeah.
What is the 180-degree rule in filmmaking?
Woo, 180 degree. Well, I'm gonna take a guess. Is it the camera has to be facing 180 degrees from the actor? Am I close?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Shoot. Does the Are you cheating? Are you giving me a hint?
Me? Oh no. I was typing it in. I was gonna show everybody.
That was Sarah. That was Sarah's.
Yes, Sarah, are you
screen.
got a TV on in there, Sarah?
A
No,
TV?
she's honking.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I think that's Giselle. I'm having the TV.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no, that's me. Does the camera have to? No, that's me. I was gonna say, does the camera have to rotate 180 degree or has to show 180 degree of the scene?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of like that's basically.
That's very close.
So it doesn't have to rotate 180 degrees, but I'm gonna share my screen.
Raphael
This is
gave
what
a
it
good. He said you shouldn't break it, but you can.
So the 180-degree rule, I think it's the easiest to see in this. It means that the camera needs to stay on this side of the character, so we don't get confused. Because when they're talking back and forth, this character in the blue is going to be on the left side of the screen on this, if you look to the left, and on the left side of the screen when we flip around to the other way. If you go across that 180-degree line and you do this camera that has a little X up top right, all of a sudden the characters flip, and it's confusing and weird because you don't really know where you are. So
It's disorienting because you don't really like, normally you know, okay, this person's on the left, this person gives you spatial awareness, and then you flipping it kind of loses that.
Yeah, because if you show camera one and you see that they're both standing in this order with him on the left, him on the right.
Continuity is a part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is very much with continuity, because if you've crossed this 180-degree line, it's going to be jarring and there's not really anything you can do about it.
So the times that people do cross it in filmmaking are to give you that like disorienting, jarring effect.
If a character hears some crazy news, you might cross the 180-degree line on purpose for your next cut, just to show how crazy that news is to them. Also, like Raphael said, you can cross this 180-degree rule, but there's some ways you want to do it. You want to do it with movement within the same shot. So if you're camera 3, stay on the pink character and the blue character, and then move across that line to the little camera with the X, and that will be okay as long as it's not cutting from one to the other.
Yeah, like if you're circling around, there have been a bunch of movies where they circle around and then switch positions.
Yeah, but if you ever cross it on purpose, you need to make sure that the rest of your shots that are coming after that are on that new line. So it'd be in the red if you did.
So basically the rule that I saw was if you're going to cross it with a purpose and make sure it doesn't look sloppy, because otherwise it just looks sloppy and disorienting and it doesn't really get the point across. And even if the point was to look disorienting, if it comes out of nowhere, or if it doesn't seem like it serves a purpose or doesn't look like it was purposeful, it can just completely take you out of the movie.
Yeah.
Because there was
Very
like some
important
really,
to-
really good
very important to
movies.
keep track, especially when your characters start moving around within a frame and they're not just standing still, to make sure you're staying on that line and creating that line in your storyboards, and looking at your storyboards back to back will really help with that kind of thing. So I believe Sarah is next. Sarah?
It was Seth.
All right, last one. Priscilla reminded me of this. What is the 30-degree rule?
The 30-degree rule?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyone else want to take a guess at it before I show you?
I think I can.
wanna
So
try.
it's, oh
Oh,
yeah,
no.
okay, go ahead.
It's another-
Is it like maybe if you're shooting like above an actor, it can only be 30 degrees?
No.
Yeah. He just said no.
I actually do know what this is.
I mean, it can be, but not the way you're thinking, I don't think.
So it's
Oh.
for it's for when you're cutting to from like a further away shot to a closer shot, or vice versa, or even like when you're staying on the subject, but then you cut to a different angle. That angle should be like at least 30 degrees apart.
Yes. Yep, that is correct. It's so that the movement isn't weird or looking amateur. If it's too little of a movement, you see these cameras in this image, they're all 30 degrees apart. So if you move from one to the other, there's enough movement to what they say is like justify the angle change. Now, if the cameras are somewhere in the middle, if it's like 10 degrees to the right, it's going to look really weird. Why are you cutting to this? We're seeing all the same information, so why are we cutting to a new camera? That kind of thing.
So you should only do camera movement at increments of 30 degrees.
No, you can. You have
Well,
to do it
it's about cutting, not
you should
movement.
do it at least 30 when you're filming, so
Oh,
that
okay.
that
Yeah.
it does cut together. You should do it at least 30 degrees apart. You shouldn't put a camera in the middle and then have your next shot. If you know what your next shot's going to be, don't have your next shot come from a camera that's 5 degrees to the left, because it's going to be the same image, slightly
Right.
different, and it's going to be very weird for the viewer.
It's also going to give your edits like not much purpose, because why are you cutting to like basically the same image but like a little more to the left? It's not really serving the
if you're doing
purpose to the
something
story.
like zooming in, it's going to look weird if it's just like closer on the same image. Usually they'll change the way it looks. They'll like do their face from a new angle a little bit from 30 degrees away.
Or they'll make it more of a
Listen.
dramatic zoom.
Because if you just have him like this and he's in the same part of the frame but he's closer, it looks weird. And you won't see this in too many films because a lot of films notice it right away and edit around it, hopefully. But I can't really find a good example, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all the questions. Does anybody else have anything you think we didn't cover? Priscilla, did you think of anything that we didn't talk about or cover?
Well, the
That's
other
something that I don't think we covered, but
the other contracts we didn't go through, but like I think there are like 2 or 3 that we didn't go through, but
there's quite a few.
agreements.
But like I said, I have those fill in the blanks forms. I'm just gonna have you guys do those, and it'll be. I think that'll be also good to re-jog everyone. And this is like
because it's
good.
hard to
All the
remember
information
the
we
name
learned from
of.
this video is good to remember for when you're doing that and you're actually writing it in. That'll help
Yeah.
keep it all in your head too. So
I feel like the whole thing that we wanted to like do a little bit of the basics, like it's good to know this. We didn't want to go too much because we covered a lot of that other stuff in our other meetings and discussions, and then we're going to have the fill in the blank. So we just wanted like a few basic questions. Hey, remember this? Hey, remember that type of thing. But if there's anything you guys think that, that you think we forgot, that would be a basic, you feel free
It
to
could be
let us know.
specific too if you want.
Before this,
Yeah.
today I studied. I studied up on lenses, like I said I was going to, and then it didn't really get addressed.
Yeah.
Oh, we were,
I actually didn't do that because I was like, I don't know if anyone knows this stuff.
I
No.
talked about, I mentioned lenses. I mentioned lenses in the video while we were discussing like the questions
Okay,
and like
Mel, I have a
doing
question
brainstorming.
for you.
Sure.
What will the difference be in a wide angle lens and a telephoto lens?
So a telephoto lens is like from a longer distance. So it's the millimeter length is higher because it captures more of a narrow it captures like a narrow area of focus from far away.
Mhm.
Whereas the wide angle captures is a lower number of millimeter length, and it captures like a broader area of focus in the shot.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question
Go ahead.
for someone. Who's next?
I mean,
You're gonna respond. I mean, you're gonna
anyone
give
can
them the answer.
respond.
I was just gonna say, what's the difference between a
Yeah, winner
35
takes
and an
all.
85?
What's the difference between what?
A 35 millimeter and an 80 millimeter, or an 85? Would it be 85? I think we have an 80.
I'm sure
right?
there's more. I know about an 85. I'm sure
Oh,
there's
okay, we have an
80
85.
somewhere, but I don't know anything.
What's the difference between a 35 millimeter lens and an 85 millimeter lens? Like, how are the images different?
I can go, or Mel, do you want to go? You know?
Well, I think 35 is like kind of like the standard of like normal, like 35 is about like what it's like the one that's close to what our eyes see in terms of closeness.
Yeah, they say 35 to 50 is the average lens.
Yep.
So it's going to
standard's
be
about 35 to 50, like you were
Yeah.
saying.
yeah. So like the lower the number, the shorter distance and like broader width you're going to be able to see.
I have an image about
Whereas-
that too, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Trying to look up.
So
let
an
me show you guys.
yeah, so an
No, keep going
85 so an 85 will be oh, there was something also that was said about how like the longer lenses will kind of like flatten the depth of an image also. Because
Yeah.
I watched the episode of the shot list, and I really liked that example that they showed about that one film where the guy was taken with a long like narrow lens kind of thing, like telephoto lens, or I think, and it was showing him like running towards the camera from a long distance, and because it was taken with that long narrow lens, he was running towards the camera, but it didn't look like he was getting any closer.
I believe I know what you're talking about. I think it was the opposite. I think it was he was using a wide angle lens, so
Really?
he wasn't close enough to the subject to make it look like he's moving anywhere. So she's kind of like running, and it's like he's not really moving because he's so far away from the frame. I mean, from the lens.
Right. Well,
I mean-
if it's a wide angle lens, oh, right. Yeah, I think I see what you mean.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna share real
wide
quick.
angle lens can capture. It can capture more width.
Yeah.
Inside.
So there's two
subject.
things I would like to bring up. It's like she was saying, if you look at this image, the 135 millimeter lens would be more of a telephoto lens. The 24 millimeter lens is more of a wide angle. So it's from the same distance. They're using different lenses, and this is what happens to the image. When it's wide, one thing I'd like to point out, when you have a wide lens, the stuff that's closer to the lens that's in the foreground is going to look bigger than the stuff that's farther away. If you want somebody to look normal, they can't stand right next to the camera. Let me see if I can get that, because
I have that image from the Reddit. Do you want me to send it to you? The
because
one of the lady in the
I'll show it
camera.
like this. Like you start seeing that her features look a little weird when she's close to the camera and it's 24 millimeter lens. Her head looks bigger, her hair looks flatter, and it just starts to look weird. You start to get like their face gets a little scrunched in a little more from the
I just
side.
learned this is why all of my photos with my telephoto lens on my phone look weird.
Yeah, so the
Her face
wider,
looks really
so the
wide.
yeah, so the
with
wider
it.
angles, like it kind of like I want to say like it increases the depth, like it looks deeper than it is.
Yeah, so in a
Or
wide angle lens, you'll have a deeper depth of field. So the background will be less blurry, and it'll look farther away. When you have a telephoto lens like the 135 millimeter lens, I'll go to this one, it's a little easier to see. 135 millimeter lens, when you look at the 24, the 35, you can see the trees are pretty far away. But when we're looking at the 135 millimeter,
Yeah, they look closer.
they look a lot closer. The background kind of closes in on the subject and kind of, like she said, compresses it and makes everything look closer together.
So for our green
The
screen
last thing it
exercise,
does is a telephoto lens it makes the image, the background a lot more blurry because it makes a shallower depth of field. So that in conjunction with the aperture, if you're going to raise the aperture all the way open, wide open aperture, having a blurry background, and then you're going to use a 135 millimeter lens, the background's going to be super blurred out because it's a very shallow depth of field. And the higher up you go, you might not even be able to get the whole person's face in focus. I've seen images where they show like if you do 200 millimeter lens or something crazy high, sometimes you can only get their eyes in focus and their mouth isn't even in focus, their nose, because it's too far away from that shallow depth of field.
Man, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
yeah, so for our green screen exercise, for example, you have to be as far from the green screen as possible so there's no spill. And so we had to put the green screen right in front of our couch, and I had to stand, I'm pretty sure it was like, what was it, honey, 10 or 15 feet away or something?
No, they say around 8 feet at least.
No, for what we did with the green screen.
I'd say like 10 feet maybe.
Yeah, I was around 10 feet away, and he used an 85 millimeter so that the green screen background could compress closer, and could look like I was in front of basically it took up the whole background.
And also it blurred
that
it
would have
out
been
so
very
that all the little
useful.
creases in the background with ours had like some creases and stuff. If it's blurred out, it makes it look more uniform. It makes it look more like one thing. The more in depth, the more in focus that you have the green screen, the harder it will be to key out, because if it does have any creases or if the light doesn't touch it exactly the same way, it's harder to key out. But that's why you want to have
Yeah.
like a blur. It's better to have a blurrier background when you're using a green screen, honestly, most of the time. But
In
yeah.
our experience.
Yeah, I would have loved to have known that when I was doing my green screen, because I also did not have a very wide green screen.
Oh my gosh. We learned, I'm sorry, we learned that like that was one of the first things we learned. We should have probably had a refresher.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that you didn't teach it. No.
No, we don't teach anything. We're a study group, but we mean like, because we don't want that
Yeah.
responsibility.
I'm
Mel.
learning with you guys. That's how
What?
I
No,
just
no,
learned
that's not what I'm
30
saying.
frames per second as
I
do.
know, I'm joking. Calm down.
It's
calm
It's
down,
because
I'm joking.
I procrastinated. I procrastinated learning it.
Oh no,
if
I
you
know.
look at
I
this-
just
if you look at
meant
this
like,
difference, it also affects lighting. I think,
yeah.
especially depending on what kind of lenses you have. Mine will do
I
that
just-
too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like every single lens, but I know that the more telephoto do look a little darker. The light doesn't contrast as much. So I don't know if that's always how it is or if it's just my lenses, but I see it in this image as well.
But
I mean, it's
but
just
you
good
can
to
see,
know
like,
in
how
general,
big
like
his
when you're taking
nose looks.
photos of people. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
don't, Mel, I just meant that like maybe we should have gone over like refresher of how to make the green screen look better, like that. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying like crap, we should have gone, maybe it would have been helpful to some people as well, you know. That's all I know.
And if anyone's
I
trying to
can't
get
remember if you did or
headshots-
didn't.
If anyone's trying to get headshots, they always say that a more telephoto one is better because it gives you more of a flat image and it expresses your features rather than wider, makes you look weird and the hair looks really weird. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
more
go for.
caricatured with that.
Yeah. Big nose, skinny face, and hair's crunched in. So, but yeah. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions they'd like to add? Thank you for bringing that up, Mel.
Yeah.
That was important stuff, especially.
Yeah,
for
it was something that it's something that I need to like learn, like get more in my memorizing brain because it's very important.
So what helped me, like I follow on the syllabus, there's
Oh,
actually
you can
quite a
see it in
few
this,
cool.
like what we were talking about, like for the 24 millimeter, you can kind of see the green screen and everything, and it's not just that white background.
What are you looking at?
This photo to
Oh yeah.
Behind the lady.
bottom right, you can see like when the wider the lens, the more stuff is in view. So it's it's cropping out that background. It doesn't even look the same.
So I had a hard time learning some of this stuff in like the photography stuff in the beginning. What really helped me was the videos in the syllabus were from actual like videographers and photographers, which really helped. But also I started subscribing to a few of them. And so I would watch like the cameras that they would use and the lenses that they would use and the images that would come out of them. And that really helped me to like memorize it better. So if that might help, I don't know.
All right.
On what? What
Lastly,
platform?
I'm going to say you can definitely see in this one, if you look at the 50 millimeter and the 35 millimeter, if you can see that right behind her, that's like how far away that little shed is. And then the 300 millimeter, you can see how much that
Jeez.
compresses in, how close it looks.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, her poor face on the 14.
Oh yeah.
Poor girl.
Oh my God.
14 millimeter, she looks crazy.
It
And I
looks like
think
when you
that,
get
like-
really close to the camera.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that what happens more? Yeah, isn't that what happens more when you do the like front-facing camera on your phone? It ends up more like
Yeah.
the 14 millimeter.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so that it captures your whole face because you have it.
And
so
that's
close.
and that's exactly why I feel like I'm skinnier when I take selfies, and then because it looks skinnier.
You also look like an alien freak. Look at that 14 millimeter.
It's funny though because it
does
actually
look like-
it reminds me of how like CG animated characters are designed, with those more exaggerated features.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, all right, guys. So would you guys like to call it there, or would you want to discuss the short film thing a little bit? I was gonna say that I'll send the script to you guys, and we're gonna set up a meeting. We were waiting on everybody to get back to us, and everybody I think did now. So I think it'll either be like we'll send out an email with when we think we'll do a little like pre-production meeting, and if everyone agrees to it, we'll set it up. But it should be like Wednesday, I think, next week. But for now, I was just gonna say, like, do you guys have any questions about how it's gonna be run logistically, or anything like that? Not exactly story wise, but like, well, I mean, you can ask anything about the logistics of the story. I just think sharing the story, I'll just do that with people who are actually gonna come, or who plan on maybe coming. Seeing if you guys are liking it, if you have any,
Don't forget also Melanie and Raphael. Oh no, not Melanie. It was Madeline that was doing the screenwriting. Raphael, tomorrow's the screenwriting
Yeah.
group. You got your script ready?
Gosh. I mean, I will. I want to, like, I really do, but I have been busy with like some other stuff, and actually, I got busy with like so in my school, like I'm in the student government, and I
Cool.
started like this. Well, I kind of want to start this thing where like we have a like a newspaper or like a journalism club, and I was thinking of like doing that. So
Nice.
nice.
All right. So you got a good excuse, is what you're saying. That's fair. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right,
Are you in
so
college?
for the short film thing, I would just
Oh.
ask everyone to like kind of treat it seriously. like, even though we're not actually doing it yet, just the pre-production thing, once we set it up, and if you guys agree you can make it, show up on time, because that's going to be a big thing. I need to make sure I can rely on all of you guys, and I need to make sure you guys are going to be on time to things like production meetings. So since we're all apart, we'll probably have some virtual production meetings once we actually start doing them, which will be next semester sometime. But being on time is very important, and then it'll also show like that you will be on time on set as well. And so yeah, that is very important. And
So the main
take this
thing,
seriously, because you should take everything seriously, like all shoots and all sets and stuff like that, no matter if they're volunteer or if it's you're getting paid. If it's just a small budget thing, or it's a commercial, everything should be taken seriously within the film industry, I think, because it really shows your character and your work ethic, and people will rely on you more and want you back and refer you. So it's always good. And what?
yeah, so
Oh,
I was
wait,
just
go
gonna
ahead.
say, like, no, I was just gonna say, we know it's probably not gonna be like a huge production right now. Like, this is our first project together, so it's gonna be more like a student film type of thing. But we hope that you guys have the same commitment and dedication and like passion for it as we do, and it's gonna be fun and work as a team, and we finally get to do some hands-on stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I
us,
wanted
like,
to get Arden to like get on board with like going there and like actually, physically being there to
if
do the
if
shoot.
she agrees to it, that'd be great. More hands-on, that's better. I'll probably have to try to get some people in around that area as well, because I want to try to have like a bigger crew.
Yeah, I'm already looking into some contacts that I can maybe see people around the area, or like Facebook groups and stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
can
how is
check
that
out.
going?
So I just requested them from James, a few Facebook groups, and because I don't want to do it too ahead of time, because people forget and they have a bunch of other
Well,
stuff.
it's better than being like later when like people are, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm thinking like for example, right now it's gonna be August. If we do it in October, September, like October, November, which is when we're planning on doing it, like November, December-ish. We want to just make sure we're not, because the way that the people in this industry work is like right now they're kind of like they're doing like little projects here and there. So if we let them know too much ahead of time, they could end up forgetting and all that stuff. So I'm trying to make it like enough time to where they'll remember, and I'll keep emailing them and keep contact, but also not too much to where they'll forget or they'll get busy with something else.
true.
It's a hard balance to find, but
Yeah.
from a lot of people that we talk to, they recommended to not message them too early, because people start doing other stuff and then they forget. And yeah, so
Yeah, no, it's just like from what Jorge was saying, you don't want to do it too far in advance, because people will, all of a sudden stuff will come up, and especially if you don't really know that person yet, and it's like 3 months out or something, they might wait until like the last second and then be like, oh, I can't. My sister's wedding or something that they've known about for a month and a half, but they didn't say anything or whatever.
yeah, we've had a lot of people talk about that.
So they say like it's better to do it, to actually start getting other people involved, like maybe a month and a half or two before, if it's just a short film. If it's something big, then you can start a little.
But I still want to try to like join the communities and check it out, because that'll give me a feel for it before
Just kind of lurk around.
Yeah,
see
like
what it's
see what
like.
other people do and what comments come out of that and stuff like that. So yeah.
Are you guys still doing like fundraising before that, or?
For what?
Well, I guess it's not really that big of a like a.
I think he meant fundraising for the script, for like the shooting.
I wasn't planning to. I was planning to just pay out of pocket this time.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just think
I just
since
want to
it's our
show, like, I'm
first.
not really sure how well it's going to turn out. First of all, I hope it turns out great. We're going to put in our all, but just in case, it's a
Awesome.
learning experience for all of us. And then
We don't want to give
Um,
anyone the burden of having to like
I'd rather have
contribute
stuff out
financially.
before I start asking for money from anybody. Just so I can be
Yeah.
like, we've made stuff like this, and we can make more stuff like that.
Yeah, it could work for like a follow-up thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the future,
yeah.
just because we don't want our first project to be like, okay, guys, now cough up money so we can do it. Especially because most people won't be able to attend the first one anyway due to either COVID restrictions or to like distance, and stuff like that. So we just
my
feel like
main thing
maybe
is just that everybody will be coming out and volunteering with us on sets. That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't have to like worry about, all that craziness. So
yeah. And also it's a lot of weight on us if we ask for money and then it doesn't end up the way that they hope for, we just want to make sure that this one is a little more like our responsibility if anything goes wrong situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it won't, we're hoping it won't. No, we're going to do the best we possibly can. And we're going to get extra people. We're going to see about, like, I'm already talking to Coda about checking out.
what the heck? Look at this bottom left picture. Sorry, I just noticed it right now. All the way bottom left of the screen.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a fisheye.
The guy was
Oh.
like, I don't know. Sorry, I just noticed it. I thought it looked funny.
Ah!
It's like when old people get on FaceTime.
It just popped up right now. Dude, yeah, I was going to say my mom. She's, yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever heard like the Bo Burnham song, like FaceTime
so-
with
Oh,
my
I
mom.
finally
Short
watched
film.
it. I finally
Just,
watched
Oh my
it.
gosh, you did.
The short
It's
film.
amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the short film is going to be around the New York or New Jersey area.
Oh, okay. Wait, where are you guys?
We are,
Virginia.
me and Priscilla are Virginia, yeah.
Oh, but you guys are
Nah.
coming to New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, we're gonna probably crash.
Okay, because I was like, I want to come, but Virginia?
Oh, right.
Where are you from?
Where are you at?
I'm in New York. But
Oh,
I could
awesome.
travel to. Yeah, I could travel to New Jersey though. But I was like, how far are you guys?
No, most
Yeah, we'll be coming up around that area.
yeah, most of the people are around either circulated around the West Coast area, like
Or Canada.
Washington, Cali,
So we're planning to
or
shoot.
their
We're
East
planning to
Coast.
shoot around a week before Thanksgiving or a week after Thanksgiving. Would you be able to maybe do that?
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Okay, cool. We'll add you to the. We're gonna do like a pre-production meeting next week for the people who are interested in maybe.
Are you
doing it.
free? Are you free around Wednesday night?
Wednesday night and Thanksgiving.
No. Sorry,
this
for this
Wednesday.
pre-production meeting, we're just making sure everybody comes on time and everything if they agree to it.
Oh yeah, I'm free.
All right, we'll send you an
So-
email
so
with it.
this one, yeah.
Cool. All right. Sweet.
So this we're hoping that maybe our next production can be like West Coasters, so they don't feel left out. But like this one's just cheaper for us to travel right now, so we're
Then we'll have to travel that way and hope that everyone can huddle up somewhere. So
yeah.
logistically, it's
Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to work on transportation there.
I mean,
to like the New York. We're gonna take a bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want to.
We're seeing-
Aren't you gonna have equipment and stuff?
Yeah, wait, how are you gonna do the equipment?
yeah. So like we're debating it still.
I'm checking if James is going to use his or if we're going to bring ours or what's going to happen. I'm still checking with that.
We're
So I'm
trying
not
to see
sure
how
if
much
we can
equipment we have to bring or we should bring, just because, guys, New York is a bitch for parking. So
That's true.
yeah, and so
Depends on what area though. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I might drive up. I'm not sure yet.
But if
wait,
we
do you
do
have
drive-
like a
years.
location?
If we do drive
We
up,
don't, not yet.
Rafael, maybe
We
we
still have
can
to
give
look
you
at, like,
a
an
ride.
we don't want to. We're not really like setting up anything yet. Like this is just like the really talking
Okay.
about how it might go down because like
we want to see
like we're
everyone's
saying-
This is
schedule
really
and
exciting.
everyone's-
Oh my god.
yeah, it's really cool. Like if we get a location this early on, they probably will drop out, and that's why we don't want to do that yet.
Yeah.
That's true.
because they'll be afraid of like COVID and like all the things. So the closer, the more we have an idea of like how
And we're
things
gonna
We'll get
are
lost in
in
the
that, like,
details.
So
Yeah.
that's why I also am not giving out any job roles yet. I'm waiting until we
But I
can
have a
make sure
list.
everybody's like, ready later. And also we have this next semester, which new people might come in and they might want to take part in it. So I'm waiting for all this.
But I have a list of your vocational abilities,
Awesome.
like possibilities that you guys could do and might want to. If you guys like feel like you'd be good in anything, you let me know.
We're also like virtual roles for like I know V wants to do virtual and I think Mel wants to do virtual, right?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
be open
Well, yeah,
to
because
that.
you're not flying out, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mel, next time
I'm
we're
not going that far.
next time we're coming to you, Mel. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Um,
California is fine.
But yeah, so right now we're just trying to figure out the logistics of like who is actually going to be able to come first of all. How many people, that way we know how many people we're going to need to recruit from the New
Listen,
York,
I'm gonna
Jersey
be honest.
area.
I'm mainly like I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm mainly making sure that whoever's saying they're interested is actually gonna be interested in like taking part, not just saying yeah. Because I've had plenty of people do that when I was doing my YouTube videos where they'd be
Yeah.
like yeah I'm gonna come in, and they never came on set, which is like they didn't ghosted. So
And
I'm
we
just
just
making
want
sure
to
I
make
can rely on
sure.
you guys to be on
Okay,
time.
I
and,
will-
like,
I
once
will
give
not
out those
ghost you
job
if
roles-
I cannot do it. I will tell you.
Yes, thank
Yay.
you. I trust you and I trust V, especially because you guys are the most communicative out of the group.
I mean, we trust everyone else too.
I said
Is a
mainly.
little hint on who's getting
Oh, man.
Communication.
rewarded.
Oh, wait. That's
Oh, you
the
guys
other
got
thing.
favorites?
I have favorites on
God.
communication.
Uh,
Yes. V responds to every single email. She responds to every single message saying either thanks or asking questions if she doesn't understand something. That helps. That lets me know, okay, she got it.
We're just
Mel
saying.
responds to most things too, and she responds like, "I'll be there. I won't be there. I'll have to leave early."
We're just
which
saying
really
the
helps.
money incentives.
Communication.
We know
is
who's
very
getting most of it. We
So-
know who's getting it.
showing up on time and being punctual is one thing for like actual being on set. That's important, like crazy important, especially because everybody's coming from around everywhere. Showing up on time is a must. And then
Is there gonna be like? No, never mind. Sorry to interrupt.
communication is really important too, because we need to know that you guys are understanding, you guys are doing what you're saying you're doing, whatever. Like
And we
I've
also
heard,
don't
like,
want to
plenty
give
of
like a
times,
big.
like even James will be saying like he doesn't get contact from the people he's working with, and they're just like, "Did you do that form? Did you do it?" And they're just not saying anything. It's like, what the frick?
And we just want to make sure like we don't end up relying on you guys for like a big important part of the crew, and then last minute someone can't make it and doesn't tell us. I mean, last minute is, things happen, but like communication, we just want to make sure we have that communication and we have that. Everyone knows everyone's expectations, everyone's limitations, what everyone can do and what they can't, like we're very clear to each
I'm
other
also
about that.
interested to have all these conversations with you guys about the actual script itself and about some shots. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get this, and I want to talk to everybody to figure it out. So I'm interested to do that with you guys.
It'll be fun.
Yeah,
Raphael,
it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really fun.
if we can get, we're gonna ask like Brent, who lives in the Jersey area, like how parking is over there and that kind of thing. Maybe we'll drive, maybe, because we do
Road
have
trip.
Raphael,
equipment.
do you have your own transportation, like a car?
I have a weird situation.
Can you drive?
Yeah,
Because if you can drive Coda.
dude, I've gone all the way. I've road tripped to Texas like a few times, which is
Okay,
like a
so
24-hour.
we might just take him and have him drive.
He'll be our chauffeur.
No, because Coda hates driving. So like,
I do hate driving. That's one of the reasons why I want to take a
If
bus.
Raphael,
But
if
I also
you
want to take a
wanna
bus so I
ride-
can think about the stuff on the way. All right, Mel, thanks for coming. Appreciate all your
Yeah,
input
glad
and
to
your
be
answers and
here.
everything. And looking
Yeah, that was
thanks,
fun.
Mel. Have a good night.
You too.
Night.
Bye.
Or say, you want to earn your keep, Raphael?
No, you don't have to drive, but I was just gonna say that even if you don't
No,
drive, we can
I'm
just pick
joking,
you up,
obviously.
bring you.
but-
No, I'd be
Like,
excited for like a little road trip thing. Like I love doing that, but
Awesome.
it's been a
So
while.
yeah, like I was
Yay!
gonna say, because if we're gonna drive, we're all in Virginia. We can just take you. And if Arden does agree to come, I could we
Road
could all
trip!
just pick each other up. Yeah.
And we can
I-
hang out. We can maybe take a day in New York and hang out a little bit. Like just see the sights.
if there's time, I mean, well, I could ask for another day. I could ask for a day off if need be, but like I do have uh, so my dad kind of like basically left, but basically I ended up with a minivan, so I'm trying to work on fixing that because it's had transmission issues, but
I don't know why
Hey.
you said my dad left. I was about to be like, oh.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of like screwed up family situation, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought
yeah,
I
no,
was
I'm
like,
good. I'm good. But
oh,
like,
okay.
I was thinking of like, I mean, throwing that in there, just like, I mean,
Turning
could
that
carry a
into
bunch of stuff.
gear truck.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
yeah. I
Yeah.
thought he meant left like went
Only thing I'd be
away.
afraid of is breaking
moved.
down halfway there.
Oh yeah.
No,
yeah,
I
that-
took it
that'd
to,
be scary.
I took it to Texas while it had issues, and I was just like,
Wait,
so
wait, wait,
the
But
transmission.
like,
Huh?
You got the papers for it in case we get pulled over or anything?
No, I need to work on that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's still
But yeah, we would take
basically
my
in my,
car.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
We
this
ju- we
time.
just-
I
just
do
make
have
sure.
like a car that is mine and everything, but I don't really want to use it as much because like trying
Mileage
to
and money and stuff.
yeah
Yeah, definitely.
not
I understand that.
rack up mileage. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll figure that stuff out. The shoot, I don't expect the shoot to take too long. I'm gonna say 2 days. I mean, it's in one room. It's a conversation between two people. It's not
Three.
that what? Oh,
Three
not
people.
really. It's not really a conversation between the first guy.
I
There's a
mean,
guard,
it's a back and forth.
brings in the guy, puts him in the chair, and then it's an interrogation for the rest where we can't even see the second character for most of the script. And that's the whole point of the script. But it's not
Sarah, do you think
long,
you,
and it's also I don't think it's gonna be that hard. I don't know. I always say that these things are gonna be short, these meetings, but then they're long. So I don't want to say,
Right.
oh, it's gonna be short. And I don't want to do that, especially because Brian has said, like, don't always give yourself more time. And I totally agree. I'll say 2 days to actually shoot, 3 days for safety. But I don't think it's gonna take I don't know. I don't think it's gonna take that long to do it. I don't think it's gonna take 3 days, but I guess we'll see.
and if we do have extra time, we can go to that amazing unicorn ice cream place you went to last time, Michelle.
Yeah, sure. And it's like Gay Avenue, I think.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah,
the
there's
name
like
of the place.
a whole
I think it does all these. I think I don't remember the ice cream place, but
but apparently it was like really yummy and they loved it and I want to go.
let me check if I can find it.
But Sarah, do you think you're doing Daniel's movie in November as well? Do you think
No.
you're gonna be able to?
They said
They're
it's
closed?
closing.
No,
Oh
honey.
man. So it was called the Big Gay Ice Cream Shop.
What? Oh my god.
It's awesome. It's got like a unicorn in the front.
Wait, what's
and
it called?
The Big Gay Ice Cream Shop.
Gay
Oh man, I think they are closing it. Oh, that's awesome.
oh,
Let
that
me share
sucks.
my
I hope
screen so
that,
I
I
can
hope
show you.
they're
That's like the picture I had. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah, it was really
know.
good ice cream. Man.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
I
there's
hope
another
they're
one. They said.
okay. I hope
Oh,
they're
they said it
not-
has multiple locations. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
They said the
I
one
hope
on
that-
this
Other
certain
big
street.
ice cream locations in Manhattan.
Yeah. All right.
okay.
Anyway,
I-
we're not
I
shooting
was
in
worried that
Manhattan,
they
but
lost
we
money or
might
something.
explore that area when we're down there.
Oh, they have 4 places.
It's a lot. It's like
Priscilla will probably also want to see the Friends.
Oh, they have one in
apartment.
Philadelphia.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. So much. It's just a random building, people, that they used as B-roll for the Friends TV show, but I don't care. I want a picture in front of it.
But yeah,
Anyway.
anybody else have any questions about the shoot?
I was gonna
Like,
ask
what would
Sarah. I was gonna ask Sarah, since she's going to be doing Daniel's film in November, do you think you're gonna be able to make ours as well, or like how long do you think the script will take to shoot for you guys?
I'm not sure. So we'll have to deal with to think about that and get back to you on that, because I don't
Okay.
have an answer off the top of my head.
Because we
Next
might
month.
be able to work around it, like depending on the dates you guys have, because they're probably going to be a little more set than ours. We
Yeah,
can
like
we
we're
can
gonna,
see.
you know, we'll talk more about schedule the closer we get. I just, he said that you guys were filming in November, so I'm not sure how long it's going in. Is it like, I don't know if, I know it's a feature film, so I don't know if it's going from November into
damn.
December or when he's planning to shoot. So we'll have to talk more about that
Yeah.
later. But that is
Okay.
something we'll have to like kind of see if we can
Yeah.
figure out.
Just so we
Also,
can see
it'd
if we
actually
can
be
maybe
great.
work around
It'd
it.
be probably great for you if we could shoot it like right after you were done with this, since you'll be in Toronto, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's actually smart to line it up like that.
Yeah. So if we are able to, that would if it works with everyone else's schedule as well, that would probably benefit you a lot.
Yeah.
And then Canada road trip.
We can't yet. Borders are still closed, I think.
Aw.
Or did they say they just opened?
I have
can't
no
By
idea, but they
November.
seem like they're closing back up.
Yeah, everybody
Aw.
is. So I don't think it's gonna. I don't know. A few months from now, maybe. But
Yeah, I would hold on.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that might be a case too, Sarah. I don't know.
Honey, you do know you're
They
still
don't-
recording, right?
Yeah, because we're talking about
Oh, okay.
the short shoot,
Oh, okay.
short film shoot.
I forgot.
That might be if the international borders aren't open. I don't know if it's open for you guys or not. Do you?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I
even
guess
if
we'll have to
isn't,
figure that out later too, as well.
yeah, even if it
um,
isn't, we're talking months from now, so a lot could change. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Either way, we're hoping to be on the West Coast next time, and hopefully, if you can't make this one, you can make that one. If
Yeah.
not, we hope
Well,
we
we'll see
can
what happens, and
figure
we'll
it out.
just plan it out and go from there and not worry too much.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions, guys? Comments? Concerns?
is there gonna be like a chat or something for this to like communicate about or just email or?
Yeah, I'll make a WhatsApp group or an email and
Once
an
we
email
get like
chain
more
because V is
confirmation,
in
and
this as
like
well.
once we set it up next week and stuff, and see, and the closer we get, we'll start doing more, and we're gonna also be doing like production meetings and stuff like that.
We'll be
Okay, cool.
emailing and WhatsApping, emailing
WhatsApping.
and sending WhatsApp of everything just to make sure you guys have 2 lines of communication and V doesn't miss anything. And yeah, we'll try to keep. We'll start on Monday and see from there. Touch bases,
Okay.
and yeah, when we're trying to do this like one step at a time, so we got to make sure that we're not in over our heads, and we got to make sure we do like the proper steps and everything right, so we don't get ahead of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it is exciting.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do it.
Yeah,
Excited
it'll
to
be fun.
finally do some stuff with you guys. So that'll be awesome.
So happy we are all finding ways to do what we all enjoy. All the best. Yes.
Yeah, I really like the idea of like doing hands-on stuff.
Yeah, I think it'll be really good for everybody to like, get some practice and just kind of see how it is on set. And
The knowledge to work.
yeah, and then just you'll have it on your reel. If nothing else, you'll have a credit saying, "Hey, I worked on this thing."
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Everyone can
stop
add
the
this to their
recording
reel,
there.
really.
I'm gonna stop the recording there.
Okay.
Like I said, if anyone watching this Monday, we are going to watch a film based on acting, so there'll be no recording. But we'll be watching it, looking out for blocking and performance and markers and anything else we can think of that has to do with acting. And if it's consistent, which it should be. But I think that's it.
I think
Like last, I
I'll-
want to say again, shooting schedule, August 9th. Shooting schedule exercise, August 9th. Scene Mimic number 2, based on the Hugo. August 9th. That's when those things are due. Emailing out these forms today for these fill in the blanks, and we're going to be doing that on Thursday next week.